Ambassador Jake Collins stood behind the tall podium in the massive Galactic Council chamber. His hands were tight fists as he listened to another stupid ruling against humans. The blue-skinned Vorthan delegate had just announced that human mining in the Kepler star system was too rough and needed to be cut by 70%. This was the 15th time in 15 months that the Council had limited what humans could do. Humans do not understand how to manage resources like older races do, said Council Prime Zathari with a nasty smile. Her 6 purple eyes looked down at Jake like he was a child. Maybe in 1,000 years they will learn to be more careful. Captain Lisa Brooks stood next to Jake. She was his assistant and friend. She put her hand on his arm because she could see he was getting very angry. His face was red and his jaw was tight. Behind them, 12 other humans from Earth watched everything happen. They had been coming to these meetings for 3 years. Every time, the aliens treated them like stupid kids who did not know anything. Aliens always said human ideas were simple but cute. When humans found new planets to live on, other alien races would complain and the Council would take those planets away. When humans built new ships, the aliens said they were too dangerous. When humans wanted to trade, the aliens made rules that hurt human business. Jake remembered the first time he came to this place. He was excited to meet other intelligent life forms. He thought they would be friends. He thought they would work together to make the galaxy better. But the aliens only wanted to boss humans around. The worst moment came when Counselor Thys spoke up. Thys was from the Meridian Union, a group of very old alien races. He was tall and thin with gray skin and no hair. His voice was cold and mean. "I think humans need a guidance protocol," Thys said to the whole chamber. "They are too young and wild to make their own choices. We older races should watch over them and tell them what to do." The chamber exploded with happy sounds. Aliens clicked their claws, chirped like birds, and made weird humming noises. They all loved the idea of controlling humans completely. Jake felt his heart sink. A guidance protocol meant humans would not be free anymore. They would be like pets that the aliens owned. Lisa grabbed Jake's arm harder. She could see murder in his eyes. The other humans behind them were whispering angrily to each other. Some of them stood up from their seats. The alien delegates were so busy celebrating that they did not notice how angry the humans were getting. "This is perfect," said a fat orange alien from the Centauri system. "Humans can do the dirty work while we make the smart decisions." "Yes," agreed a snake-like creature with too many arms. "They are good at fighting and building things, but they need adult supervision." Jake had heard enough. 3 years of insults. 3 years of being treated like garbage. 3 years of watching his people get pushed around by aliens who thought they were better than everyone else. He was done. He reached up and slowly took off his translation device. It was a small silver box that let him understand alien languages and let them understand him. He set it down on the podium with a loud click. The sound somehow carried through the huge chamber, even though thousands of aliens were making noise. One by one, the aliens stopped celebrating. They looked at Jake with confusion. Why was he taking off his translator? What was happening? "We are finished here," Jake said in plain English. His words were translated one last time before the device went silent. Then he turned around and started walking toward the giant doors at the back of the chamber. Lisa did not hesitate. She followed him immediately. So did all the other humans. They walked in a straight line toward the exit. Their footsteps were loud in the chamber that was becoming quieter and quieter. "Ambassador Collins," called out Council Prime Zathari. Her voice was not mean anymore. She sounded worried. "You cannot just leave in the middle of a meeting. That is against the rules." Jake stopped walking when he reached the massive doors. They were made of some kind of shiny metal and were 30 feet tall. He turned around one last time to look at the thousands of alien delegates staring at him. For 3 years, he had been polite and patient. He had followed their stupid rules and listened to their insults. Not anymore. "Watch us," Jake said loudly. His voice echoed through the chamber because his translator was still sitting on the podium. Then he pushed open the heavy doors and walked out. Lisa and the other humans followed him. The sound of their boots on the metal floor echoed like thunder. Behind them, the chamber was completely silent except for that echo. The aliens sat in their seats and stared at the open doors. They had never seen anything like this before. No one had ever just walked out of a council meeting. It was unthinkable. It was rude. It was shocking. Council Prime Zathari felt a cold fear in her stomach, but she did not know why. Humans were just one small young race. They needed the council more than the council needed them, right? The heavy doors slowly closed behind the humans with a loud boom that seemed to shake the entire building. In the silence that followed, no one moved, no one spoke. They all had the strange feeling that something very important had just happened, something that would change everything. Within hours of the walkout, emergency sessions were being called across council space. What had seemed like a minor diplomatic tantrum was rapidly becoming something much more serious. Captain Lisa Brooks was aboard the human flagship UNS Liberty, coordinating the most massive logistical operation in recent galactic history. "Status report, Commander Parker," she called to her communications officer. "All human colonies have confirmed receipt of Protocol 7 orders, Captain. The Mars Industrial Complex is already beginning shutdown procedures. Luna Base reports all civilian transports are being recalled from Council space." Lisa nodded grimly. Protocol 7 was humanity's contingency plan that few had believed would ever be activated. Complete withdrawal from all Galactic Council territories and cessation of all trade relationships with Council species. On the bridge's main screen, Admiral Ryan Murphy appeared from Earth Command. "Lisa, I need you to understand the scope of what we're doing here. We're not just pulling out diplomatic personnel. Every human ship, every human facility, every human citizen in Council space is coming home. The President signed the order an hour ago." The implications were staggering. Humans had become integral to Council space infrastructure over the past century. Their mining operations in 17 systems provided rare elements crucial to advanced technology. Human agricultural, worlds fed populations on dozens of planets. Most critically, human medical technology and expertise had become indispensable to several species whose reproduction cycles depended on human-developed treatments. Meanwhile, in the council chambers, panic was beginning to set in. Trade Minister Kalos of the Centauri Collective was frantically calculating the economic impact. "The humans control 42% of our dilithium mining operations. If they withdraw those facilities—" "Surely they're bluffing," insisted Councillor Thiss, though her confidence was wavering. "They need us more than we need them. Where will they sell their goods? How will they maintain their technological advancement without access to Council research databases?" Council Prime Zathari was reviewing reports from her intelligence networks, and the news was troubling. Human ships weren't just leaving. They were stripping their facilities bare, taking with them technologies and equipment that Council species had grown dependent on. More concerning were reports that human scientists were systematically wiping research databases and recalling all joint venture partnerships. The first real indication of the crisis came when the medical emergency alert reached the Council chambers. The Rigelian birthing stations, which had depended on human genetic therapy to maintain their species' reproduction rate, were reporting critical shortages. Without human medical intervention, their birth rate would drop by 90% within 2 years. 2 weeks after humans walked out of the council meeting, the galaxy was falling apart. Ambassador Jake Collins sat in his big office on Earth, reading reports about the chaos happening everywhere in council space. His helper, Major Tom Bradley, brought him new information every hour. All of it was bad news for the aliens. "The Altair star system has no power left," Tom said as he put papers on Jake's desk. "It turns out our fusion reactor workers were keeping their whole civilization running. Without human engineers, everything is shutting down." Jake was not surprised. He looked at more reports. "What about the vegan planets?" "Complete food disaster, sir. They have been using our soil technology for 3 generations. Without it, nothing will grow. Millions of aliens will starve within 6 months." Jake nodded and kept reading. The reports got worse every day. For the past week, Council Prime Zathari had been trying to call him every few hours. He ignored all her messages. The emergency meetings in the council chambers never stopped. Some alien species were threatening to quit the council if the human problem was not fixed immediately. On Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, Captain Lisa Brooks was running the huge operation to bring all humans home. She had turned the old research station into a command center. From there, she watched as human ships came back from all over the galaxy. Each ship brought more stories about aliens panicking. "Captain," said Lieutenant Carol Adams, who worked at the communication desk, "we just got a message from the Arcturian Defense Fleet. They discovered something terrible." Lisa looked up from her computer. "What now?" "All their weapons depend on human-made targeting systems. Without our maintenance and replacement parts, their entire military will be useless in 3 months. They cannot defend themselves anymore." This was exactly what Lisa expected. For decades, humans had been the ones willing to work with dangerous weapons technology. Aliens thought it was too risky, so they let humans handle it. Now they were defenseless. Commissioner Greg Hayes was one of the last humans still in council space. His job was to help with the evacuation, but he was also watching how bad things were getting. He sent a video message to Captain Lisa from the Galactic Trade Commission building. "Lisa, you need to see this," Greg said. His face looked tired and stressed. "The shipping lanes are completely broken. Human ships moved 60% of all cargo between alien worlds. The alien ships that are left cannot handle all the work. Entire star systems are running out of food, medicine, and basic supplies." Greg paused and rubbed his eyes. "I saw fights breaking out at the spaceports today. Aliens are desperate to get supplies, but there are not enough ships. Some planets will be completely isolated within a month." But the worst problem was happening in the research centers. Dr. Amy Foster had been in charge of all human scientists working with aliens. For the past 2 weeks, she had supervised the careful removal of all human research from alien projects. Hundreds of years of working together were being undone in just a few weeks. Amy sent her final report to Earth Command from the Grand Science Institute on Altair Prime. "The Quantum Communications Array project is completely dead," she said into her video recorder. "Without our mathematical theories, the aliens cannot even understand their own data. The galactic internet will start breaking down in 6 months. After that, different star systems will not be able to talk to each other." On Andoria Prime, the most advanced planet in council space, President Vask was having an emergency meeting with his top advisors. What they learned made everyone in the room go silent with fear. His science advisor, Dr. Coulon, stood up with shaking hands. "Mr. President, we have discovered something horrible. Humans were not just helping us with our technology. They were the foundation of everything we built." President Vask did not understand. "What do you mean?" "For centuries, we thought humans were primitive and simple, but their way of thinking, their willingness to try dangerous experiments, their creative problem-solving, we built our entire advanced civilization on human ideas without realizing it." Dr. Coulon pulled up holographic displays showing their research data. "Look at our faster-than-light travel. The basic theory came from human scientists 50 years ago. Our medical technology? 60% of it uses human biological research. Our artificial intelligence systems? They are all based on human brain studies." The room was completely quiet. Finally, President Vask spoke. "Are you saying that without humans we will lose everything?" "Worse," Dr. Coulon replied. "We will go backwards. In 5 years, our technology will be at the same level it was 300 years ago. We might even lose the ability to travel between stars." Back on Earth, Jake Collins was meeting with the human government leaders. President Rachel Mitchell sat at the head of the table with military and civilian advisors around her. "The reports are coming in from everywhere," President Mitchell said. "Alien governments are collapsing, their economies are crashing. Some species are facing extinction." General Frank Robinson, head of Earth Defense, spoke next. "Madam President, we are getting desperate messages from alien military commanders. Without our weapon systems, they cannot protect their own planets from space pirates and hostile neighbors." Jake looked around the table. "The panic is spreading faster than we expected. 3 alien species have already left the Council. They blame the Council leadership for causing this crisis. Dr. Helen Martinez, Earth's top scientist, had been studying the reports carefully. The most serious problem is their research networks. When our scientists deleted their data and ended partnerships, we accidentally destroyed alien research. 2. Their computers cannot function without our programming. How bad is it? Asked President Mitchell. They have lost access to their own historical records. Medical databases are corrupted. Engineering blueprints are unreadable. Some alien worlds cannot even operate their basic life support systems anymore. Jake stood up and walked to the big window. He could see spaceships landing and taking off from the launch pads outside. Human ships coming home from every corner of the galaxy. They treated us like children, Jake said quietly. They thought we were too primitive to make our own decisions. Now they are learning what happens when the children leave home. The panic was no longer just in government buildings. All across Council space, ordinary aliens were starting to understand that the primitive humans had somehow become the backbone of their entire civilization. Riots broke out on multiple planets as alien populations demanded their governments fix the crisis before everything collapsed completely. The countdown to galactic catastrophe had begun. 3 months after the walkout, Council Prime Zithari arrived at Earth orbit aboard a massive diplomatic vessel, accompanied by representatives from every major Council species. The once proud alien leader who had dismissed humans as needing guidance now found herself in the unprecedented position of begging for an audience. Ambassador Jake Collins kept them waiting for 2 days. When the meeting finally convened in Geneva, the atmosphere was markedly different from their last encounter. Gone was the condescending tone and dismissive attitude. Council Prime Zithari spoke with careful respect as she addressed the human delegation. Ambassador Collins, the Council recognizes that grave errors were made in our previous interactions. We come not as your superiors, but as equals seeking to repair a relationship that we now understand was far more vital than we realized. Jake leaned back in his chair, studying the assembled alien delegates. Behind him stood Captain Lisa Brooks and Admiral Ryan Murphy, along with key figures from every major human governmental and military organization. The message was clear. This wasn't just Earth's decision anymore. Humanity had unified in response to the Council's treatment. You're facing complete collapse of your interstellar infrastructure, Jake stated matter-of-factly. Your trade networks have failed, your defense systems are degrading, and several of your member species are facing extinction-level reproductive crises. Yet for 3 years, you treated us like unruly children who needed supervision. Counselor Thiss, who had suggested the guidance protocol, spoke next. Her species' population was already declining due to the loss of human medical support. We failed to understand the true nature of the relationship between our civilizations. Humanity's contributions were not just supplementary, they were essential. We see that now. Dr. Amy Foster stepped forward with a datapad. Our analysis shows that without human involvement, Council space will experience technological regression to approximately 2.3 centuries behind current levels within 5 years. Your faster-than-light communication systems will fail completely. Interstellar travel will become unreliable. Several worlds will become uninhabitable without our environmental management systems. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Admiral Murphy spoke next. The question isn't whether we'll resume relations, the question is on what terms. Humanity will no longer accept junior partnership status in a galactic community we apparently hold up. Over the following weeks, new accords were hammered out. The Galactic Council was restructured with humanity, holding permanent seats on all major committees. Human territorial claims were not only restored, but expanded. Most significantly, a new principle was enshrined in galactic law. No species could be subjected to guidance protocols without their consent, and all members were to be treated as equals regardless of their age as a spacefaring civilization. Captain Lisa Brooks oversaw the gradual return of human assets to Council space, but the dynamic had permanently changed. Humanity no longer approached galactic civilization as eager newcomers seeking acceptance. They returned as an essential partner whose withdrawal had nearly caused the collapse of interstellar society. As Jake Collins resumed his position as Earth's chief ambassador, he reflected on the lesson learned by both humanity and the galactic community. Sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is simply walking away and being prepared to stay gone. The Galactic Council had panicked instantly when humans walked out, and in doing so they had revealed a truth that would reshape interstellar politics forever. Advanced age and technological sophistication meant nothing without the innovative spirit, adaptability, and determination that humanity brought to the stars. The galaxy would never underestimate humans again.